நீ யாரு? உனக்கு யார் இந்த உரிமையை கொடுத்தாங்க?
Hello, this is Jim Luce in New York. I'm very excited to be here for the MIAAC Film Festival. And I have Maniratnam with us this morning, India's Steven Spielberg. And he's here to explain to me, one of those stupid Americans, all about the Indian cinema and this exciting new movie that's just premiered here in New York. And we look forward to speaking with him and getting to know exactly how the Indian film industry works and how Bollywood has a larger and growing impact on American culture.
Well, it's a film that I've just done. It's been done in 2 versions, in Tamil and in Hindi. And Indian films are not just Bollywood. It has several regional languages, and this is one of them. It's made in Tamil, and it's being premiered here.
And it's basically been cut in 2 languages, right? Tamil and Hindi. And in the 2 versions, in one, the roles are flipped, that the good become the bad and vice versa. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's just a casting exercise, yes.
That's very, very exciting. The premiere last night, the audience was a heavily American and Indo-American audience. What was the response? How did you feel that it went over?
Yeah, it was good. It was good to be here. It was good to be here with the film and see that it reaches across. And this film is actually a kind of a modern day version of an epic, one aspect of the epic, so it's wonderful to know that you can make a film based on something that was written several thousand years ago and that it's still relevant, and you can make it in one part in the southern India and come across and it'll still be relevant to somebody in New York. Classification of the good and the demon, is what is being questioned in the film, and we see whether there is some of each in the opposite poles.
The movie is very, very exciting. When they begin with jumping off the cliff into the water, it's very frightening, and into the jungle, the scenery is just breathtaking with the mountains and the river and the jungle. How hard was it to produce a film in the depth of the jungle? That must have been really hard.
To be very honest, it is as difficult to produce a bad film as it is to produce a good film. I think a film is difficult to produce. I think if it is not a logistic problem, it will some other problem. It still is a creative art which should come together, and it is difficult. And this one had the extra element of it being not shooting friendly location. It is a little difficult, which means that you just have to put in that extra effort. Everybody, the entire crew and the cast have to take the extra effort to, for what would come out on screen. That is what was required.
Just say that as you continue to succeed and bring in awards and whatnot, that the bar is raised higher and higher, and it's a little more challenging each time to meet the demands, and you said more eyes are on you. So how do you feel with this film, how you've done, and how nervous does that make you for the next film with the success you've achieved?
No, it's not only just nervousness of because of the previous film. It's just that every time it's like a first film. Every time, it's not as though you at any point of time can be confident saying that I can sail through this. To be able to convert and to bring out a film, just doesn't. It doesn't become an art of cycling. It doesn't come. You just can't get on it, pedal, and just be on balance and go on.
It's not a recipe.
It just you have to figure out every time, and there's a good chance of you falling down a couple of times before you start climbing up.
Now, how does you have an MBA, I understand, from one of India's top business schools, and you started off as a management consultant. How does that experience play into your movie making?
Yeah, well, the first few times that I started doing a film, and my producer looked at me and said, "Did you do management?" I said, "Yes." And what did you specialize? I said, "I specialized in finance." And he says, I look at your budget and your schedule, and I can't believe you did finance. So it's, I think all education is just a way of thinking, an analytical approach. And to that extent, I think any form of education helps you in whatever you do, and it does help, to have some grounding in management helps, because you're constantly managing too many variables in this business. There are too many things that are there, and it's dynamic all the time, and you have to handle people. So it requires a certain amount of managing all the time.
You've done this for about 25 years, so I'm assuming you're about halfway through. You've got another 25 years ahead of you. What big goals do you have? What would you've achieved pretty much everything one man could achieve in a lifetime, but I have the feeling you're going to keep going. What else would you like to do?
One more film. Every time that's all you want in mind is to be able to do one more film. And if you can do it, and if you're still keen on doing it, then it's good.
Do you have an idea of the next film?
You always have an unfinished idea. That's the trouble with it. The ideas, by the time it gets completed, is when it becomes a project. And half of them have this habit of being just elusive, just out of reach.
I would assume you have more than one unfinished idea.
Yeah. You normally have. Ideas are easy to hit upon. To finish it is the most difficult thing.
Exactly. Talk to me a little about the collaboration you've had with your wife and the team that you've built, and how challenging that is, but how rewarding that is to move a project forward.
If you're writing together, then it's somebody with whom you're able to actually become complementary. You need to work with somebody who can add on, and you can build further on that, on the same wavelength. So it so happens that Suhasini also is interested, and she writes, and she comes from a background which is from a small town, from a village in Tamil Nadu, and I am essentially a city person. Okay. So
Two sensibilities.
So two different sensibilities and two different backgrounds and cultures. So the details which you require if you're going to have something rooted in a rural area, she has that, and so it becomes complementary. And as long as you're able to progress it in a particular way, then it's good.
Speak to me briefly about the power that you have to take an idea and to transform it as uniquely your own, but to have millions of people around the world grasp your vision. That's an enormous power. That must be exhilarating to know that you can shape the minds of your audience.
I think it would be a little presumptuous to think that I can shape the mind. It's not that. It is, if I'm able to hit a chord with the audience, which means they have the similar thoughts in their mind, and it gets verbalized through something which they connect with. It is not that you're planting in ideas, and it is just that you share something. You share your excitement about something, or your anguish about something, or your concern, or your worry, or your fascination about something. And if there are enough people who feel the same way about it, then you make a connection on that.
So you need to make that connection. So you need to know what will connect. That will be successful.
I think if you're part of the society, and if you think this way, there would be, and there would be a lot of people who would think similarly. So that's a connection that you try to make, and that starts the exchange of ideas across. Other than that, I don't think it is something that I don't look at it as that a film actually. No.
Manipulate.
Yeah, I think it's not true.
How do you see yourself in the panorama of thought leaders globally, and how do you think global leadership is important to all people?
I think our role is really a kind of a lateral role. I think if we're not looking at trying to give a solution in a feature film in 2.5 hours, we're not trying to solve a world economic problem or a political problem. All we are trying to look at it is in an artistic way or in a lateral way. Look at it emotionally, look at it from a different perspective altogether. And it's just a lateral. I think that is what artists can do, to give it a different perspective, and which would possibly open up a few things for the leaders to move upon, for the people who follow the leaders to take it across. I think that's the role of an artist there.
Time magazine, which I know quite well, has listed one of your films as the 100 best in the world in the history of cinema. And I'm sure this new film will also be up in that level. But how did it feel when you were named to that list with your film? And can you tell the American audience about the film a little?
Well, it was a film which I did around the end of '80s. It was a film called MIAAC. And when I first came to know that, I thought he must be a friend who's done the list and now has put it in. And no, it's good. It's good to for your film to be noticed and recognized, and it just gives you a satisfaction.
I'm sure. But you surround yourself with some of the greatest talents in the world, like A.R. Rahman, in terms of the musical score and all. So talk to me a little about the different people that you've had on your team and the great recognition that they've had.
That's one of the early lessons that I had from my entry into films, is that the best thing the director can do is surround himself with very good talent, and then your job becomes easier. You can sit back a little more. So I've been extremely lucky that I've had very good technicians working with me, and Rahman is really wonderful. He's just outstanding, and I think I've been working with him for the last 10, 12 films, and he's absolutely amazing.
Exciting. Is there anything you'd specifically like to share with an American audience?
My film.
So on that note, I can say that it's definitely a must-see film, and the Stewardship Report, which I publish, will be declaring this film the must-see film of 2010. And we're very excited to have you here in New York, and we thank you for all your great work. And whether you want to do one movie or not, I'm looking forward to the next 25 years. It's very exciting. Thank you so much for speaking with us today. And we really appreciate it, and definitely go see this film. It is excellent. Thank you so much, Mani.
Thank you. Thank you.
Veera, Vatta Veera, Noora, Sura, Tira, Gada.